What's up everybody, David here again with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing this lens, the Tamron 28-75 2.8 version 1. I've had this lens for quite some time now, and it was actually the very first lens I bought when I got my Sony a7 III about 3-4 years ago. And today I want to talk about why I think it's the best starter lens to get if you're on a budget for the Sony E-Mount system. Now, before I get into talking about this, I want to preface this by saying gear, yes, is very, very important. Honestly, I did need this lens right here. You can't see it because I'm using it to film this. I did need this lens to, I would say, increase my quality, but I have dipped into the side of like, I just start buying stuff and buying and buying and buying, and before I know, I done overspent it. I don't got no problems to make up the money I spent. Not problems, I don't got no projects to make up the money I spent. And now I just got all this gear with no money. So first off, if you're not really getting money like that, you know, save up, budget, and get your things as you need them as necessary. But don't get stuck in the gear rat race where you're just spending all this money on gear, but you're not working on, you know, anything else. First of all, to me, this lens right here is perfect because the 28-75 focal length, it gives you just enough wideness to get what you need. Typically, as long as you can move back. There've been a couple instances where I wish I would have had the traditional 24, but in 99% of scenarios, the 28 millimeters on this lens is perfect. And the fact that I could zoom out to 75 is even better because by having that longer focal length, I can create compression and more separation in the shots that I create. Another reason I recommend this lens is because of the value it brings, and me as an entry-level filmmaker, I did not have the $2,000 to spend on the 24-70 Sony G Master, but at around $800, I would say this lens is about 95% of the quality. I'll say 90% of the quality of the Sony G Master. The Sony G Master, what you're getting with that lens and those really high-end lenses is you're getting that really nice build quality. You're getting that Sony made it. You have that comfortability that you're having the best of the best. While this option, it's not bad, but it will get you to where you need to be. And for the level of projects and level of things you're gonna be doing, I believe this lens will get most of what you need done. If you need to do product shots, you can do product shots. If you want to do video, the autofocus is great. You could do video. If you need to do, you know, sports photography, the autofocus keeps up. It gets a good amount. If you're doing basketball or something, you don't got to get too in there. But as a mid-level zoom, I feel like you cannot beat the value that this lens provides. Another very, very convenient thing is that this lens has a 67 millimeter thread filter size for filters. So theoretically, if you use this lens and the other two Tamron Trio lenses, the Tamron 18-28 and the 70-180, you can use the same ND filter for all the lenses. So that makes it a lot easier as well. Another really great part about this lens is the durability. Yes, it is made of plastic. Yes, it's, you know, it's not the most robust feeling lens, but I'll tell you what, I done dropped this off the gimbal, I done dropped it off a tripod, I done dropped this lens on the cement. This lens has been through the ringer. I've literally used this lens on, I don't know if it's been hundreds of projects, but I've used it at least on 100 different shoots, and it has withstood the test of time. It's actually my oldest lens and I refuse to get rid of it. The way this lens review originally started off was that I was gonna take it out, shoot some video with it, shoot some photos with it. That way I can show you how after the 3 years of use, the quality is still great. But instead, it literally turned into a whole music video, anime opening sequence. And so I'm gonna talk about how I used this lens in that video. The main thing that I like about this lens and why I always recommend zoom lenses is because even though you don't get that nice, sharp, prime look in filmmaking, to me, I think the ability to get multiple angles and multiple focal lengths trumps the look of a prime lens. Yeah, you're gonna get that super bokeh look with the blurry background and the super in focus eyes. But to me, bokeh and high aperture is not what makes a great film. To me, what makes a great film is planning, shot composition, how you're lighting your shots. And to me, this lens covers everything I need to get the shots that I want. So first I'll start off with the opening shots. I believe there is an opening shot of the building and then a shot of my car pulling in. Both these shots are shot at 28 millimeters from kind of across the street from where I was filming. And because I was across the street, the 28 millimeters was more than enough. So the 24 that I would be losing by getting the G Master or maybe a different option was not an issue at all in this case. From there, I zoomed into about 35 millimeters to get a shot of me coming out the car. And then from there, I rotated to the back and went back out to 28 millimeters to shoot me getting my equipment and stuff out the car. Within the first few sequences of the lens, I used the full wide 28, and then I think I went into maybe 35, possibly 40, but we used a lot of the wide angle stuff to keep the look similar. Another thing that I like about 28 millimeters is that it does not give you that distorted corners. I don't think 24 really gives you too much corners, but once you start going 24 millimeters and wider, you start to get a little bit of this roundness in the corners. And because we didn't have that super wide angle lens, we didn't have to worry about corner distortion. Now, I will say the one area in this film that the lens a little bit left me down was the behind shot when I'm exiting the elevator after I realized that the elevator's broke. You'll see it's a little bit tight. It's a shot from the back and it's a little bit tight. This is the one shot out of the whole video that I would say, yeah, I needed that 24 millimeters. I don't think the 24 would have gave us so much extra detail that it would have made a significant difference in how it's consumed or viewed. I really don't think it was a big deal. Some people would argue that the 2.8 on this camera doesn't let enough light in, but since it's a Sony lens, it does use a Sony body, and I'm shooting this on a Sony a7S III. So even though the 2.8 doesn't let in the most amount of light, the camera is sensitive enough to where I could go up to ISO 12,000 and it honestly still looks great. I don't think I use super high ISOs in this, but if I had to use that ISO, the 2.8 would not be an issue at all. So all in all, I highly recommend the Tamron 28 to 75 lens as a starter lens for anyone entering the Sony ecosystem. I feel like it's the best value lens you can get, and I think they make a version 2 with a focus button that costs the exact same amount and is made with even better materials. So definitely, again, if you're in the Sony market and you're looking for a brand new lens, give the Tamron 28 to 75 a chance. It has served me well for 3, almost 4 years now, and I don't ever plan on getting rid of it. So thanks for watching again, and peace. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye.